All right, let's just jump right into this explainer by confronting a visceral panic I think we all know a little too well. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, or maybe you're finally unwinding at a family gathering, and suddenly someone asks you for a favor you absolutely, positively do not have the time, the energy, or frankly, the desire to do. You know exactly that feeling, right? It's that sheer sinking dread of seeing a text bubble pop up from that one demanding relative or getting the notorious, hey, got a quick sec, Slack message from a coworker right as you're literally packing up your bag for the day. You desperately want to refuse, but instead, you totally freeze up. Your mind just goes completely blank. You stall. You mutter something like, let me think about it. And then, after 3 hours of agonizing internal debate, you text back a reluctant yes. Why? Because the pressure and the fear of guilt just completely overwhelm you. According to the Boundary Playbook, the problem isn't that you literally forgot how to pronounce the word no. It's that under pressure, your brain scrambles, and your default self-preservation mode is simply to just agree to make the discomfort go away. And this brings us to a brilliantly insightful quote that really hits the nail on the head regarding our core problem. Dr. Yasser Al-Hazimi points out that without firm boundaries, you basically become a blank canvas for everyone else's objectives. You are literally spending your life's most precious resources, your time, your money, your emotional and mental energy, building someone else's priorities. So ask yourself, is that really how you want to spend your limited resources? Section 1, the trap of saying yes. Let's really examine the heavy psychological toll this constant agreeing takes on our lives. Dr. Al-Hazimi compares bonds that are built purely on your endless sacrifices to artificial flowers. Think about it. They look incredibly nice on the outside, sure, but they have absolutely no real scent, no real life to them at all. They are ultimately parasitic. These types of relationships only survive as long as you act as their supply line. The very moment you stand up straight, recognize your basic rights, and finally say stop, they fall away entirely. Because they were never actually attached to you. They were just attached to what you could do for them. And here's where the trap really springs shut on you. Giving away all your time to these superficial connections leaves you with zero emotional depth to offer your true relationships. Dr. Al-Hazimi explains that superficial relationships are really just rapid exchanges of facts. Things like, how are you? Did you take your medicine? Did you finish the report? When you burn all your precious emotional fuel on these daily surface-level interactions, you have absolutely nothing left in the tank for your deep relationships, the ones based on shared opinions, shared dreams, and real, genuine emotional validation.
Moving right along to Section 2, why we fear saying no.
So why do we constantly put ourselves through this? Well, an Al Jazeera piece on this exact topic notes that this chronic people-pleasing is especially exhausting for dedicated professionals and parents who are just constantly burning out trying to be everything to everyone. The absolute crucial point here is validating that guilt is a completely normal reflex. The Boundary Playbook reminds us that if you grew up always putting others first, saying no is automatically going to trigger guilt. But here is the secret. Choosing temporary guilt over permanent resentment is the key to saving your mental health. Say no, feel the guilt, and just let it sit there. The guilt will eventually fade. But the resentment of saying yes when you really meant no, that sticks around, and it rots the relationship from the inside out. Section 3, how to say no politely. Now that we understand exactly why we must say no, let's look at the actual practical etiquette of refusal so we can protect our time gracefully. Imagine a coworker drops a massive request on you at 4 p.m. on a Friday. Yikes. Well, Al Jazeera outlines a really great 3-step framework for this. Step 1, do not rush your reply. Take a literal breath so you avoid that knee-jerk yes. Step 2, be clear and direct. Remember, politeness is not about softening your no until it becomes a confusing maybe. And step 3, if you genuinely want to help but just cannot take it all on, offer alternatives or a partial yes, like maybe connecting them with someone else on the team who actually has capacity. All right, Section 4, boundaries in real life. Let's get practical. Let's arm you with some exact scripts from the Boundary Playbook to cure that frozen mind effect, because let's face it, preparation is everything. What's really fascinating here is how the capacity redirect works when dealing with your boss. Instead of silently absorbing the extra work and burning yourself out, you professionally force them to manage your workload by asking, which project should I prioritize? It's brilliant. For coworkers, a friendly but super firm, I'm passing on this one, works wonders. And for clients, simply stating that an ask is out of scope and requires a separate proposal completely protects both your time and your professional value. But notice how the game changes entirely when we look at our personal lives.
With your friends, you can usually just be honest about having low energy. With strangers, a simple no thank you is literally all you owe them. But family? Well, family dynamics are tricky. Giving a detailed reason to your family usually just sounds like the opening bell of a negotiation. So sometimes the most effective response is a warm yet completely explanation-free boundary. Something simple like, that doesn't work for me.
The boundary playbook really drives this point home, and it's absolutely crucial. You do not owe anyone a justification for your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. The more details you provide, the more ammunition you are handing someone to debate your reality. Think about it. I can't because I have plans is a definitive boundary. But saying I can't because I might have to do laundry if my friend doesn't call, well, that is just an open invitation for them to argue with you. Section 5, dealing with pushback. Because trust me, there will be pushback. What happens when people flat out refuse to accept your boundaries? When they start to guilt trip you or demand you make an exception? Let's look at how to hold the line. If a relative is demanding you attend an event you simply can't make, you can use the broken record technique. Just calmly repeat your stance without escalating the emotion. Or use the pause. When they push back, just let the silence sit there. It powerfully shows that your decision is final and you aren't desperately scrambling to find a better excuse. And then there's the empathy sandwich. I totally get that setting boundaries can feel harsh sometimes, but empathy doesn't actually mean yielding. You can say something like, I understand this is incredibly important to you, but my answer is still no. Have you tried asking someone else? See what you did there? You validated their frustration and their needs while firmly maintaining your limit. It perfectly bridges the gap between caring for them and necessary self-preservation. Finally, Section 6, protecting your true relationships. By mastering these tools to filter out all those parasitic demands, we are doing something incredible. We are saving our energy for the relationships that truly matter. Dr. Al-Hazimi warns about the specific, insidious danger of the people pleaser who is absolutely wonderful to everyone outside the house, but a total terror at home. Why does that happen? Because unchecked altruism leads to emotional bleeding. You give everything you have to strangers and acquaintances, leaving you drained, irritable, and completely surface level with your own family. He notes that virtues like giving and honesty must be pruned like a tree. You have to actively shape them with boundaries, or they'll grow wildly out of control and literally damage your core foundation. So once you save all that precious energy by saying no to the outside world, you need to invest it right here, deep in your true bonds. Don't just ask your kids or your partner if they ate today or finished their work. Ask for their opinions. Ask for their advice. Engage curiously in their interests, even if it's not something you naturally care about. Share your own problems and ambitions with them. And when they come to you with an issue, validate their emotions instead of minimizing them. This right here is the ultimate payoff of setting boundaries. You actually get to bring your best self to the people who share your life. Ultimately, saying no isn't about shutting out the world. And it certainly isn't about being selfish. It's a highly targeted, incredibly powerful tool to ensure you actually have enough of yourself left for the people who truly deserve it. So I want to leave you with this question to ponder today. If every single yes you give is a literal withdrawal from your bank of time and energy, who are you actually saving your wealth for? Think about that the next time you feel that sudden urge to automatically agree to a favor.